Hello again, Michael Ware with IFC's Warrior Wednesday here. We have John Farhner with us from GOA. He is the Deputy Director of Corporate Relations. At some point in this episode, we should probably find out exactly what that means, John. But thank you for coming on. We got some really special stuff to talk about, and it's time sensitive. So let's get right down to it. First, I want to encourage people to go to IFC's site. You can navigate that easily on the web. I wish I could give you the domain name, but the police at social media have cracked down on us for doing that. So we'll describe it as best we can. If you type in Iowa Firearms and Coalition, you're going to make it there. Same thing for goals. If you type in GOA or the word goals, I'm confident you'll land on the right spot. Go to IFC, check out our trusted partners. These are people who are investing in the program. They're investing in you. So buy from people that support and buy from you. It's that simple. We appreciate your membership. With no further ado, John, what is goals? How can we get involved, and why is it a big deal? Give us the skinny.
Yeah, so Goals is the Gun Owners Advocacy and Leadership Summit happening August 1st and 2nd in beautiful Des Moines, Iowa. Super pumped to be there. Goals is GOA's annual convention. This also coincides with our 50th anniversary celebration. So GOA has been around for 50 years fighting for gun rights. We will have 150,000 square feet of some of the top gun manufacturers, as well as some of the top speakers that you may want to come see. Brandon Herrera will be there, Lena Michalek, Jerry Michalek, you name it, they'll be there. We've got just going to be a good old time. We've got breakout sessions with a lot of the self-defense insurance companies going over different things. We also have dinners and auctions and luncheons and everything. So there's something for everybody. If you're a hunter, we have a hunter's event that's going on where you can go and see. We've got a learn how to field dress a deer is going on. So if you want to bring your kids who don't understand how to field dress, we got a 300-pound ballistic dummy that has the same internals as a regular deer. We're going to gut that thing at the convention center. We've got our Spanish-speaking breakfast. Yeah, I know that's right.
I'm glad you said that, John. I'm thinking to myself, golly, that sounds hot and horrible outside. But inside, under the right circumstances, great. I mean, sorry, go ahead, man, go.
No, we've got our Fuesa brunch that we're doing. We've got our Second Amendment Hunter luncheon. So we're going to have some great speakers there. We've got our 2A Defender student luncheon. So bring those students who are interested in the Second Amendment. This is for high school and college age students. We've got our Defend Her Caliber women's brunch. So that is for women's only. We've got our Activist Society dinner happening Friday night. Tickets are all available on the website, and that is where you will find all our awesome auction items from all our great partners out there who are going to be there. There's going to be new product launches from Canic and EAA and a ton of other companies there. So come in, enjoy the time. It is a family-friendly event. We have a kids zone specifically for kids to go hang out. There may be some prizes from Goat Guns. Win yourself a Goat Gun. Go in. I mean, this is for all ages. We don't kind of discriminate. We kind of bring everybody in under the one banner, and that is the Second Amendment, and that is what GOA does. We are the only no compromise gun rights organization out there. We fight for the Second Amendment, and we're going to continue to do that through our national convention goals. And we're super excited to be in Iowa this year and show the industry that there's a lot of gun owners in Iowa. We need to start having more events out in the Midwest.
I'm super tickled about that. Pete Brownell is a great friend of mine. He's my brother in Christ. I love him very much. He's a special guy for me. And he's like, listen, these guys are coming in town. I want to support them. We're going to do all we can. How can IFC become involved? And I said, we'll primarily start with making sure that everybody knows about it. We'll see if we can drive a lot of traffic there. Because what you're talking about, people see these names. They've seen them for years in competition. They've seen them on social media. They watch what GOA says. They watch what Lena Michalek's doing, Herrera. They see these things like, man, this is fantastic. And I'm like, guys, it is. And oh, by the way, they're going to be right here in the neighborhood. They're here for a couple days. You should make every effort to make sure that you're there. Now, you've done a pretty good job of outlining who some of these folks are, how there's something there for everybody and under that circumstance. What I would like to ask, and I don't think this is a stretch at all. I know you're prepared for things like this, John, and this isn't scripted in any way, but why should they do this? Why do these people need to come out? Not just because it's a tremendous opportunity. I know that, and you know that. They know it. But why should they come out and be engaged? Why does it matter?
Because what matters is we are going to have senators and congressmen and people there who they hear about us. We fight for your rights. But now is there to put your money where your mouth is and go in and talk to them and show up and show the state of Iowa, which is very gun friendly, but show the people who are there that Iowans believe in gun rights. We're going to continue to push for gun rights. And this is also an opportunity to learn. If you don't know how to get active in fighting for your Second Amendment rights, if you don't know where to start, this is where you can go. We have training. We have things. This is an opportunity to not only get to see and handle some of the coolest guns out there, but also hear from these great speakers, be motivated, and also learn how to take that motivation and talk to your representative, talk to your city councilman, talk to your state, local, and continue to push for Second Amendment freedoms, not only in your state of Iowa, but also for those who are coming in from out of state who may be listening to this, to push for you to learn how to fight, because your guys' neighbors to the right and to the north are kind of not so friendly. Mm-hmm. So learn how to make sure that your state doesn't turn into that. And that is the big thing. It's not just fun. It's not just that, but you can go to our activist training and learn how to be a 2A activist, how to get involved. There's a lot of fun things going on. Listen, I get it. You want to come, you want to play with guns, have fun, but also take an opportunity to learn how to fight for the Second Amendment.
That's the best answer I've heard in a long time. Yes, tons of attractions, all kinds of things that you should be doing. You're not going to leave not having a great time. But at the end of the day, if people don't come to goals and they don't learn how to be a force multiplier out in their environment, in their communities for this movement, then they've missed the mark. Because yes, there's going to be some fantastic and wowful and awesome, if you will, things to experience. But I'm like you, if you leave being engaged about this and you're better at advocacy and you're able to help other people do it, that's really what we're talking about here. And that's the most important thing that could come out of it. So I know that it's a tremendous undertaking and a lot of money spent and tons of planning. I don't know, John, what do you work a week? 25, 28 hours a week, or are you giving this job a little bit more time than that?
I wish I was working 25 hours a week. Listen, I'm on the West Coast, so I have people don't call me, but they after 2:00 because all the East Coast people are already getting done. I work from 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time all the way until about 7 p.m. every day, and even on the weekends, because the Second Amendment doesn't sleep. You know, the attacks on the Second Amendment don't sleep, so we always are constantly working. Our federal affairs guys put in 90 plus hours a week, so we are like kicking butt every time we can.
You know, we talk about it. This isn't a woe is me thing for Michael or for John. I'm not saying that. What I want people to understand is there are a lot of folks out there who work tirelessly, and all they're saying here is come join us. We'll teach you a little bit. We'll help school you up. We'll manage your concerns, and you're able to pitch in and do something. Because at the end of the day, when I visit with the legislators, when I talk with policymakers, you know what they really say? They really say what moved me into this. Well, they say two things. Either there was overwhelming support for this, so it couldn't be denied, or they tell me something personal. I talked with a lady in my district, or I visited with a gentleman in my district at a cafe the other day, and he relayed this story to me. And it was very, very personal and moving, and that stayed with me. And it's impacted the way that I looked at my work and the subject matter. It's personal like that. So there's no better way to do it than to learn advocacy. So with that, if you're willing, tell us a little bit about you, how you got started, and how you're wired in that you got into this line of work. I'd like to understand that.
Okay, so I've got a weird, interesting, fun story about how I got into this line of work. So I started off in the firearms industry 14 years ago, right after, an event that happened in a town out on the East Coast. So I got into it, And right then, the company I was working for took all the AR-15s off the shelf, and I was like, "Why are we doing this? This is, why are we doing this? We're folding." And they're like, "Because that's what we do." So I left that company, went to another company. They went bankrupt very quickly after I joined them. Another large conglomerate. Started working for a gun range. Um, got my degree from Kent State University in Ohio. And if you know anything about Kent State, we had a couple people who were very pro gun on the campus at the time. I wrote my senior dissertation on why we need campus carry and got yelled at by my professor saying, "Well, when I was in Texas and I was a preacher at a church, we left our guns in the vestibule." And I was like, "That is unsafe and dangerous." And I called him out on it. As I went on, I started working for a small barrel manufacturer. Some of you may know it as Faxon Firearms. I worked for there for a number of years. Went and started working for an ammo company in Phoenix a couple years after that. And then Kaylee Neiman, the director of development and marketing from GOA, heard that I was looking for a job and called me and was like, "Hey, do you want to get into advocacy and work for a nonprofit?" And I said to myself, well, I've been doing this for 12 years at that point. I enjoy the firearms industry. Now it's time to put my money where my mouth is and actually go fight for Second Amendment rights. And so I joined on with the team at GOA.
That's fantastic. So, all right, I get a little bit about. I understand the pathway through Second Amendment, but and if it's too personal and you'd not like to do this, I understand. We can move on. But I'd like some insight into who John is. I mean, as a kid, you said, was it you watching Full Metal Jacket and said, I want to be the first kid on my block with a confirmed kill? I mean, or what were we talking about here? I mean, what made you want to join these circles or go this direction?
Well, I got into guns. My dad was a hunter. The first gun, and I still left it. The first gun I ever fired was a 50 caliber muzzleloader, which is when you learn as a child. That was it. I had a 410 shotgun as a kid, 22. Did the Boy Scout thing. Really didn't think about getting into the industry until I got towards into college. I had somebody attempt to break into the house I was living in. At that time, the only gun I had was an $89 Mosin Nagant. And again, that dates me a little bit because for those of you know, they don't cost $89 anymore. But that is what I had. And I got into handguns and started shooting. And you know what? I found the passion and I wanted to get into the firearms industry. Worked behind the counter, got really driven behind that shooting. I was a youth instructor for about 3 years where I taught 3-position 22 shooting for youth. Really enjoyed that. Left the gun industry for 3 months to go work in the car industry. Absolutely hated that job for all 3 months I was there. Left that, got back into the firearms industry, and it's stayed ever since. It is a passion, and I know that I'm not going to make the most money in the world being in the firearms industry, but I enjoy what I do. It's my hobby. I do on the side. Not only am I work for GOA, I am the co-host of the State of the Second podcast, which is a GOA podcast, but I also have my own YouTube channel with a friend of mine called Fully Loaded Reviews that we do gun reviews and stuff like that. So it's been in my blood ever since I was a kid and kind of just kept with it.
Well, are you okay? So if you're all things firearm and Second Amendment, do you find time for anything else? And if so, what is that?
I do find time for other things. I have my wife likes to say I get a new hobby every 2 years. So my last hobby, I am a connoisseur of watches now. I've started collecting watches. I'm a huge cigar and bourbon guy. I've been a part of a number of cigar organizations or clubs and enjoy that. I have a large bourbon collection that I like to do, and I also collect patches. If you can't tell, that's just a portion of it. That's an 8x10 wall behind me that's filled floor to ceiling, and it's now going around this room. So those are my hobbies. I like overlanding and off-roading too. I just got into that, so that is my new hobby, is overlanding and off-road. So I just but my true passion's always been firearms, and I keep coming back to it no matter what. Even if I try to take a break, I still come back to it.
I'm going to ask you a question which very few people get right. That should give you an indication on how you should answer, by the way, but or how you could answer, by the way. But if I said Jeep or Land Cruiser, what would you say?
Well, I hate both. So I'm a Ford guy.
Ah,
That's my problem.
you're a
I'm
what?
a Ford guy. That's my problem.
Did you just advocate for a Bronco or an F-250? Is that what you just said?
But I have a Ranger, so that's
Oh,
what I go with.
dude, this podcast has gone horribly sideways. I didn't anticipate it being this bad, dude. You
Listen,
had an opportunity to say Land Cruiser, and all that stuff, and absolutely make the Jeep proud, which is everybody, by the way. But uh, kudos. I didn't think I'd hear that ever. So that's original and
well,
fantastic.
when your family worked for my dad was on the Thunderbird project back in the 2000s. So my family has worked for Ford, so I kind of get the no negotiation kind of thing. So I just stick with Ford. That's
All
why.
right. I understand. Okay, moving on. That threw me for a loop, but we'll be all right. Okay, so the goals is coming to Iowa. It's been a lot of time in the making. It's August 1st and 2nd. So give us an idea where it's at.
It is at the Iowa Event Center, so it's not at the Casey Center. It's at the Iowa Event Center, so it'll be in the convention center. Will be the main area where the floor will be, and then upstairs, for those of you who've gone to the Iowa Event Center, that will be where all the breakout sessions are, as well as the main stage.
Okay, so on the screen, for those of you watching, for those of you listening, I want you to navigate to you could just type in GOA and the word goals, GOALS, and I am confident you'll get there. And you'll be able to see the lineup, the exhibition, all the schedule, the whole 9 yards. But there's a red tab for register now. If you hit that, it's pretty simple. You go down through there, you're going to put in a few prerequisites, throw a little bit of money at it as cheap if you'd like, the whole 9 yards. But the point is these guys have made it super cheap and super easy to get involved and come down there. Now, as far as the Iowa Event Center, parking's not too bad. It's right there close. Are you expecting people need to be there at a certain time in a certain way to get there ahead of things, or how are people supposed to anticipate what they should look forward to? And I need to know those things, because I'll tell you, John, a lot of people don't go to something like this, not because they don't want to, or not because they don't recognize how great it is. They're like, well, I really don't know how to get there, and I don't know how soon to show up. And they put some question marks in their mind, and it keeps them from coming. I want you to move past all that. So what do they need to know about how they're going to get there and how they're going to start their day?
So get there at around 8:30, 8:45 to get your badges. The main stage will open at 9 a.m. So if you want to hear the opening remarks from our president, our vice presidents, the national anthem being played, our prayer is going to be at 9 a.m. That goes until about 9:30, 9:45 when the first panel is going to start, which I believe is still my panel, which is the Firearms Innovation and Technology panel, which will have Mr. Pete Brownell on it for those of you who are in there. But also we'll have a couple other big names where you'll get to ask them questions about the firearms industry. At 10 a.m., the show floor opens. So if you want to be there early to go see the main stage, get in line for the show floor, please be there at 9 a.m. or 8:45 to get your badges. You can get there as early as 8:30 to get your badges. You will, if you sign up early, you will get a QR code. It'll make your time through line very quickly. They scan your QR code, they print you your badge, you're good to go. If you get there late and are trying to sign up the day of, there will be QR codes outside of the venue where you will scan and pre-register right there. I recommend pre-registering so that way you can get through the lines pretty quickly, get you up to that main stage so you can go see their new, and when you go up there, you'll get to see our friends in the media. So Newsmax will be there, OAN will be there, there'll be Rumble will be there, a ton of media companies will be upstairs. And then at 10 a.m. on both days, this is both for Saturday and Sunday, at 10 a.m., the show floor will open. So if you prefer just to be there to go see all the gear and guns and everything like that, go downstairs. There will be a full schedule of events on the website with all the panels and speakers as we finalize. There's been some tweaks here and there, but sure, there'll be all that. And then if you would like to meet Mr. Jerry Michalak and Lena Michalak, I will tell you exactly what day and time that is because I just posted that.
Fantastic.
Let me pull that up.
While you're pulling that up, is there a cost associated with entering?
It is $25 and it's free to all GOA members. So it's basically all you're doing is paying to be a GOA member for the year at $25. That helps us. That money supports not only the cost of the event, but also goes straight into our legal defense fund to go fight everything. 90% of all donations go straight to the legal defense fund, and everything like the other 10% pay my salary and everybody else's salary at
Sure.
GOA so we can fight. So if you want to meet Jerry and Lena Mitchell, that starts August 1st at 10 a.m. Then at 11 a.m., you can meet John Level. This is all happening at the GOA booth, which is booth 3325. You can meet John Level at 11 a.m. You can meet Chad Prather at noon. Rebecca Level will be doing a book signing at 1:30. Chris Salcedo is going to be at 3, and Nick Freitas is going to be at 4. Again, this is Saturday, August 1st. And then August 2nd, you can meet the hero of the shooting down in Texas, Mr. Stephen Williford, who works for GOA. At 12 p.m., you can meet Eric Pratt, our executive vice president. And at 1 p.m., you can meet Chad Rubikchek down at the GOA booth for a book signing as well. But you get to do some great, there's going to be other meet and greets at other booths. Those will be announced by them. But you can meet those awesome people. And if you really want to meet Jerry and Lena, I would definitely start lining up for there at 9:45. Once the doors open at 10, you will be getting in line to go get that.
Tremendous opportunities. I mean, you talk about people who are exceedingly good at their craft. Jerry and Lena they're legends. That's absolutely fantastic. I mean, they're everywhere. They've done a lot. They're continuing to do a lot. But you mentioned people like Stephen Williford. He came up and headlined and spoke to us at IFC's annual Second Amendment Day, and he told his story and shared with it. It was fantastic. And well, it was a pretty rough spot that he was put in, but I'm glad he heeded the call. You know, it was a very interesting man. Tragedy, but he made the best of it with what he could. You know, and I respect that. You mentioned Nick Freitas. He's coming to be our headline speaker in 2027. On March 16th at our Second Amendment Day. These are tremendous people and opportunities you're providing here. This is fantastic. I've lost my train of thought. I was going to ask you about something very specific, but it flew out as fast as it flew in. My bad. Quite a lineup though, by gummy. I remember what it was. I like that you're enticing membership with the entrance fee, and it's very reasonable. We do things like that with our trusted partners. They offer a tangible goods. For example, my own personal business, I offer free transfers for anybody who's an IFC member. So I'm like, well, you could pay X, or you could give X to IFC and become a member, and then you can have as many transfers as you want. You're kidding me. I'm like, no, it's a perk of membership. So I really like the angle that if you spend just a little bit of money to become a member, walk on in. We're glad to have you. I think that's really smart. I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah, and it's a benefit to our being a member of GOA. Like I said, GOA is a nonprofit that continually fights for the Second Amendment, and we need the funds to do so. And being a member is a great way to fund this. Coming to the event, hanging out, we will have raffles and giveaways and prizes and you name it. There's a lot of other ways you can help fund GOA and get into the fight. But definitely it is a huge benefit to our members to come and just hang out. And what I failed to mention, we'd also have member meetups. So what that means is at specific times during the weekend, regional meetups will happen. So Midwest, for you in Iowa, those in Iowa, we'll have a Midwest meetup where you can all meet in a room and hang out and talk to each other. It's a great place to meet friends. We've got people who came from year one of the show and have made friends. We've had people all the way from Alaska and Hawaii come who are now lifelong friends. This is a way to join and build in the community and find other like-minded individuals. You might find your new shooting buddy at Goals, and it's amazing to see how that has grown.
That's really, really smart. I didn't know that you were doing that. I remember years ago when AR-15 had just become a thing, and they had state hometown forums, and they would routinely arrange a time to go to, like Saturday night at the local gun show, and then you'd meet together at, I don't know, some restaurant or whatever afterwards, and everybody would shuck and jive and tell stories, and I have lifelong friends as a result of that 20 years ago that I met that way. And like-minded people, and you're sharing stories, and this guy's pretty cool, and you end up doing some shooting together. You pal around a little bit. I think that's a fantastic idea. I'm glad you're doing it. And there's always an underlying sense of community in the Second Amendment, but to put that into work and function, that's pretty smart. I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah, we try our best to get everybody involved and make goals the greatest event that it can be, especially not only to learn and educate yourself, but also make lifelong friends and enjoy all the cool stuff that you get to see on the show floor.
Okay, here is something else. You and I know this because of going to many of these things and being part of many of these exhibitions. These everything that you can think of here is something that you and I have probably done before. But let's say that you go to SHOT Show and hey, wear good footwear. You're going to put some miles on in a lot of these cases. Don't wear 4-inch heels. That's not smart. So good footwear. But a lot of those times when you go these places, you can plan on, if you wish, in many cases, carrying all kinds of stuff home with you. Are people going to leave with, swag and stickers and stuff, or what should they be prepared for?
Oh, prepare to bring, there'll be bags available at the door, but plan to bring, a bag and stuff. You'll get swag, patches, stickers. You can also purchase stuff. Now, that being said, FFL items are not able to be sold on the show floor, but you could put an order in for one. While there, but you can get uppers and triggers and this and that, and just be prepared to have a good backpack and some comfortable shoes.
Okay, all right. So seriously, if I wear comfortable shoes and roll up with a mostly empty or an empty backpack, which is okay, and you can come in with it, you can plan on walking out with all kinds of stuff in there.
Yes.
I think that's very important for people to understand. So I know, guys. I've got a safe like this. Every manner, you've got a wall behind you that's a reflection. Here's where I've gone. Here's what I've done. Here's what some of my interests are. It's a little bit of an advertisement. All right. I know guys that have safes or garage fridges or whatever else covered in gear stickers or whatever else. I mean, there's going to be that kind of stuff there. If you're into that, you can take a little bit home with you. So what haven't we touched on that we need to? I really want people to have a full understanding or a breadth of what they're going to experience for a couple of days.
Well, my thing is come in, enjoy yourself, get to go to the main stage, listen to some of these talks, listen to Herrera. We also have huge panels. So it's not just talks in the sense of, one person's on the stage. We have my panel, the Firearms Innovation and Technology panel. We have a Firearms Emergency Preparedness panel, our legal panel. If you ever had any legal questions about the Constitution and Second Amendment rights, we have a whole panel where our lawyers are going to be up there talking about the fight and what we're doing and everything like that, and talking about these things. You will have chances to meet other like-minded individuals, talk to manufacturers, get to try stuff out. There'll be, like I said, there's giveaways. We've got a bingo card where you got to go stamp and fill out the bingo card to win a prize. We've got raffles. We've got a simulator that you can go use to win a prize. We've got breakout sessions. So USCCA, AO, Attorneys on Retainer, CCW Safe are all putting on these breakout sessions all around different things to go kind of get your idea. And if you're shopping for self-defense insurance or prepaid legal, this is an opportunity to shop all the companies that are going to be there. Go hang out, touch guns. If there's a new gun that you want to get, this is your opportunity to do so. And I might not have every manufacturer there, but I have a lot of the bigger names there this year too. And it's an opportunity to see things that you haven't seen before, to hear of companies that you don't know of. There's a lot of smaller companies that are going to be there this year. We've got a lot of new suppressor brands, optic brands. You've got firearms brands, big and small. You're going to see new products from a lot of them. And it's an opportunity to get your hands on things and actually enjoy yourself. And then go upstairs, go listen to Herrera, go listen to Lena, go listen to Mr. Guns and Gear, Tactical Considerations. We Like Shooting. All these guys are going to be there. And it's going to be an opportunity. Not only that, but you can meet them in person. They'll be walking around the show floor. This is your opportunity to go say hi to some of your favorite content creators while you're your YouTubers while you're out there too. So it's huge.
You're describing something that's almost completely and totally interactive. So you'll be able to see these people, get your picture taken, maybe visit for a second if they've got the time, the whole 9 yards. But back to the panel, are the panels more of a lecture or scenario, or are this interactive? You'll be able to raise your hand and say, "Hey, I have this question," and people on the panel respond, or what's happening there?
Both. There'll be some pre-planned questions that they're going to go over, but they're going to open it up to the audience. We'll have a mic. You can get in line and go out and actually say, ask your question to some of these YouTubers, ask your question to some of these manufacturers, and please be polite. That's all I ask. Please be polite about it. But we're going to have, for my panel in particular, I've got the vice president of Canic Century Arms is going to be there. Radiant, the owner of Radiant, is going to be on there. The Dead Air is going to be on there. Pete Brownell is going to be on there. The owner of PSA will be on there. This is your opportunity of sitting there and ask them questions about the firearms industry. Same thing with the emergency preparedness panel. If you've got a question that you may not have an answer to, you can do it. Also, because we also talked about overlanding vehicles, our outreach programs will be there. So if you want to get more involved in women's Second Amendment right, if you're a woman, that our 2A our Empowered 2A program will be there. If you're a student, our 2A Defenders program will be there to talk to them. If you are into overlanding, our gear program, we have a brand new gear program, which is based around overlanding and outdoors, the combination of firearms there. We have a whole outdoor panel that's going on too. And you can ask questions to, for those of you who watch overlanding YouTube, Ozark Overlanding will be on the panel. We've got people on the panel that you can ask questions to about specific gear related stuff for your vehicle, and talk about the outdoors and talk about hunting and talking about adventure, or even bring up the idea of, hey, I have an overlanding rig. What gun should I have in that rig? Or what gun do I need? Or how should I be compliant with, ever changing gun laws state by state? So this is an opportunity to not only get your questions answered, interact, and talk to people. It's going to be just a good old time.
Fantastic. Well, I'll be looking for the Land Cruiser panel at some point in the future. Maybe that's on the docket. I don't know. Let's hope. All right. John Farhner, you've spent some time to come on and visit with us today. We've got this thing coming up. We're going to put this podcast out there. We're going to make sure that this is published wide and far. I think some of our people at IFC are going to take the opportunity to chop this up in a few smaller pieces to put it out there, and that'll be fantastic. We've talked about what's going down. We've talked about what people are going to experience. We've talked about where and how they're going to experience, what availability they have, and how they can utilize this to better themselves and everybody else. Is there anything that we haven't touched on? Because frankly, you've done a pretty good, darn good job of relaying over what's going on, how to do it, and what people should be considering going into it. What have we missed?
The big thing is just come out, have fun, enjoy the show. If you see me on the show floor, stop me and say hello. I'm happy to take a picture, even though I'm not famous. I'm not going to say that in any letter, but feel free to say hi. Stop. Again, it is for the whole weekend. Again, we this is a kid-friendly show, so we do have a kid zone that is 30 by 40. It's a big area where they'll have Nerf guns and laser tag and all that stuff to just make this a family weekend event. Come out, enjoy it, listen to speakers, listen to talk, become a GOA member. It's free to all GOA members. If you're not, it's $25. Listen, $25 can't buy you McDonald's nowadays. Come out and enjoy an entire weekend at the show and have fun and meet one of the 200 plus companies that we have out there. Go talk to some of the media guys, enjoy yourself, shake hands, take pictures, go to these meet and greets. Make a weekend out of it, make a day out of it. Come Saturday, enjoy it. Come Sunday, enjoy it. We also have, for those of you who are religious and want to, we have a prayer breakfast Sunday morning at 8 a.m.
I saw that.
I forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah, I saw that when we went down through and I was sharing that screen. It's important to mention IFC is going to be there. You guys were kind enough to make us part of that. The least we could do is make sure that we drive as much traffic there as possible. So we're going to be present too. I don't know. I'm pretty excited. Most of these items that revolve around the Second Amendment on any scale are found either near huge population centers or whether they're on the coast or not. It's a little debatable, as you know. But there are large population centers, and they're often down south. I am absolutely stoked that it's here. Thank you for your choice. We're going to see if we can do everything to make you sure that this was a wise decision. I appreciate that very much.
I'm going to say this to all you Iowans out there listening to this. Show up, because the industry said that there was more ears of corn than people in the state of Iowa. So show up and show them that there are gun owners in Iowa who want stuff like this in Iowa, so we can tell the industry to do more events here. This is the first time we're doing it. There's a first major industry event in the Midwest in a city. Please show up and show them that we weren't wrong for bringing it here, and that Iowa is full of freedom-loving gun owners who support the Second Amendment.
Fantastic. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you, John Farhner, for coming on today. We're going to get this out there wide and far. If there's any kind of follow-up that you need, let us know. We'll get you on as soon as possible so that everybody's up to date.
Sounds good. If you guys need anything or want to hear anything, go follow goals_con on Instagram. That'll have all the up-to-date information.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'll put that in the text narrative too, so people know that.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir. Goals in Des Moines, August 1st and 2nd. Be there or be square.